In this video I want to tell you as briefly as I can why I'm writing this ebook and why I'm doing this March 4th challenge. Back in 1992 I had just lost a business I loved, not to mention $125,000 of my money, my cherished art collection worth over $100,000, so I was not a happy camper. One night I watched Les Brown on PBS do his It's Possible talk. Well, that perked me up, that inspired me really, that motivated me. Shortly after that, I started to do some research and I came across some really good books and some really interesting, inspirational people, like obviously Les Brown and one of my favorite here who just passed a few months ago, Jim Rohn, Jim Cathcart with his Acorn Principle. One of my all-time favorites, this book changed my life, that Roger Dawson. This guy kicks butt. Vince Poscente. W. Mitchell, awesome. Rick Hansen, love this guy. And of course the dynamic duo of Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. So I decided to start some new businesses, and I made a big move across the country to be closer to my family. I joined Toastmasters in 1998, and later on I would join the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. But I was sharing my experiences in those 7-minute speeches at Toastmasters, and quite a few times people would come over after and say things like, "Oh, you're really good, man. You know what? You should put that in a book, and you should speak for a living." Well, I started to write my book, what was going to be my book, which I was going to call Milk and Cookies for Success. Milk for substance, cookies for fun. Now, in March 2001, something really awesome happened. As a member of the Montreal chapter of CAPS, I got invited to meet some of the speakers who were going to talk the next day at a big event in town. So in a small little room with just 30 other people, I was there with W. Mitchell and Jack Canfield and of course my hero Les Brown. So I talked to him about my project. He encouraged me to write the book and to follow my dream. And he said that he would write the foreword for my book, which eventually he did. Now, in 2001, I went to my first NSA convention, and man, that was a rush, because until then, I'd pretty much had sort of like a stereotype of what a professional speaker should be like. You know, my models were Les Brown and Jim Rohn and Covey and Waitley and Brian Tracy, people like that. And then I got to Dallas and I got to meet some really wild, in some cases crazy people who were very popular and doing well. So to me that opened like a whole new world. I met people like Scott Friedman and of course Steve Rizzo, and this guy's a genius, Joe Calloway, and of course Larry Winget. Well, I came back and I started to work more and more on my book, and by 2002 it was 125 pages. So I started to think about publishing it. But then the project took a turn here, kind of away from my passion, which was, to help people, well, get a better life, because these people had done that for me. So I listened to people who were telling me, oh, you're so good in networking and you're good at communicating and you're good at marketing. So I decided, okay, let's turn this from a personal development book to a personal and professional development book. So I had added a lot of that stuff to the book. And well, 2 years later, in the fall of 2004, that's the result. 586-page brick entitled Milk and Cookies for Success. Again, it was a personal and professional development book. So it did very well. So my wife and I, Laurel, decided to start the Biz Boosters in early 2005. And pretty much that's what we've been busy doing for the last 5 years. the last couple of years mostly on online marketing is what we were focusing on. But you know what? It wasn't my real passion. My passion is part 7. Now for those of you who have my book, part 7 is entitled, "Oh, Go Ahead, Just Do It." And you can see that it's actually on page, I think it starts on page 387 anyway, you'll find it. For those who don't have my book, there's a link down somewhere on this website, and you can download part 7 in PDF and with my compliments. So once the book got out, somebody at selfgrowth.com got a copy of it, and after they went through it, thought it was good. Well, it is. Then they invited me to participate in this book here. So I wrote a chapter along with people like John Gray and Jack Canfield, Richard Carlson, Bob Proctor, Alan Cohen, and some other luminaries. And I got some really good feedback from many people who bought the book about my chapter. So I decided last summer, I spent a fair amount of time with this book. If you haven't spent any time on this book yet, I really suggest that you do that. Thank you very much, Chris and Janet, for writing it. The passion test, and it confirmed once and for all that my passion was self-growth. So I decided to get back into that now in October. After my 59th birthday, I started writing a new little ebook. It's only 20 pages, and this one I give to people so I can, so they can join my list. The Forgotten Yet Fundamental Secret for Personal and Professional Success. How to use this 5-letter word to achieve fantastic results faster. Well, the 5-letter word is focus. And I was thinking at that point that, if I'm trying to do 5 or 6 things at the same time, I'm not really preaching by example. So I decided shortly after that book came out that my 60th year on planet Earth would be focused on helping people reach their goal, do this one thing they're supposed to do. And in working on that, in January I released this one here, which is entitled Goyan Goads. That's the name I like to use for self-growth. Gives 20 tips and trashes 10 myths to help you make 2010 one of your best years ever. So the next thing now is I've already started to work on the next one, which is the core of this campaign. It's entitled Whatever It Is You Really Want to Do, March forth and do it. Now there's more details about the book itself on the next video. You can watch it if you want to know what the book will, if you want more details about the book. If you want to skip, that's okay. You can go to the next one where I give more details about the campaign itself. So what's my why in 4 short sentences? 1, help people do that one thing that they want to do or are supposed to do or should be doing. 2, establish my credibility in the self-growth arena with clients, readers, and peers. 3, reward the participants. Anybody who helps me to reach my goal with this campaign, I want to reward them financially. And finally, 4, give a boatload of money to 4 deserving causes. So, if you've decided to participate, please go to the bottom of this web page and you'll see some instructions on to what to do next. If you need some more information, the next video talks about the content of the book, and the ones below explain the campaign in more details, and the last one, number 5, talks about the 4 causes that I want to support through this March 4th challenge. Thanks for your time, and